Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. Today, I welcome my fellow neuroencoder, Pauline, to the show. We're going to be talking about personal growth, confidence, values, and much, much more. And I know Pauline has got a wealth of knowledge. I'm really excited for this conversation today. So, yeah. So just before we dive in, just a quick introduction to Pauline. So Pauline is a multiple award-winning entrepreneur in the world of coaching and HR. Pauline is the founder of Swift Coaching and Consultancy, the transformational coaching, capacity building, and consultancy concepts, as well as the Success Academy, providing out-of-the-box accredited self-development programs. A strategic people and business enabler, coach, neuroencoder, as I've mentioned, with over 30 years of experience in local and multinational companies at strategic, very senior levels, such as senior head of HR and general manager. So a wealth of knowledge there, Pauline. So many things I could sort of like pick out of that. But what I'd be quite interested to know to start us off with really is, what is Swift Coaching and what got you into the area of coaching? What was your story behind it?
First, I want to thank you, Johnny, for hosting me. It's a pleasure always to talk to you. You know that. And mainly to tell you what brought me into coaching and Swift Shift. Swift Shift, it's making the swift shift into your better self effectively. So since I have a background in HR and, leadership, self-development, and all of this was the core of my corporate work for a long time. And I bumped into coaching just by accident. I was in a conference in Dubai, and then there was a conference on coaching, and then I attended, and this is how I got hooked to coaching, and I established afterwards Swift Shift Coaching and Consultancy. Effectively, the story behind it is because I used to work in the corporate world and I wanted the freedom. I was a single mom. I'm still a single mom. And at that time, my kid was young and he needed his mom to be more present. And my corporate job, being a general manager, took most of the time. I was always flying out of the country, being away for days and days. And this is when coaching opened the door for me, which was freedom. And this is how I became an entrepreneur. I established my company since long time ago. And we support people and businesses to go to the next levels throughout the MENA region and Europe as well. And I'm passionate about coaching. I'm passionate about everything that is self-development because I've experienced coaching as well. And it was a shift in my life. It helped me go through things differently. If I wasn't coached or did not have the knowledge about coaching, things would have taken another turn in my life because I'm Lebanese. And as you know, Lebanon is not such a stable country. So we always have incidents happening and all of this. So it gave me the grit and resilience to go further and faster, as we say in neuroencoding.
Yeah, further, faster. Love it. Well, thanks for your story. And I can tell you got the first time I talked to you, you got a real passion for that area. And from your experience being able to help others through it. So, Pauline, I'm going to ask you a question that personally, I've got my kind of answer to, but it just, maybe for the listener, if they've not tried it before, what's the value of coaching as opposed to someone going alone? We look in this day and age and it's right. Okay, I don't want to be where I am. Maybe I want to move forward, or I want to do this. Maybe there's a lack of clarity. Maybe there's a bit, but you're a bit stuck. But you think, there's all this stuff out there. What's your view on that? What's the value of coaching versus going alone?
Effectively, when I became a coach, coaching was really new. And now after being coached and having coached lots of people, the power of the coaching thing is that you have someone who's holding the torch for you, the light for you, but you as a person, you're telling them where you want to go, and they're there to light and empower the path for you, but you are going through the path. You have somebody who's walking by your side, but you are doing the process, you are doing the transformation, you are finding the options, and you are recreating yourself. And it's mainly focused on where you are today. So the starting point of coaching is not the past. The past, we learned from it. We look back just to see how far we've gone. It's not to go and dwell on the past. So the beauty of the coaching is that you start wherever you are, and no matter wherever you are in your life, at whatever stage in your life, you can get coached and go further. And the coach is there to light the path for you, but not to tell you what to do. Because we as human beings, we love, if somebody is in trouble, we run and tell them what to do. And this is very dangerous because they don't have our values, they don't have our culture, they don't have our beliefs. Sometimes advice is not the right thing to do. And I believe it's always not the right thing to do. You need to let people be empowered so they learn and they can go forward next time.
Yeah, I like what you said about not like telling them what to do because they got their own like values and beliefs were a couple of words you touched on there. So yeah, I actually want to touch on like values and possibly beliefs as well.
Yeah.
So how important is it for us to, because I've talked with a few people about like values and things like that. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about like the importance or not so much of values in a person identifying them, because you know there's lots of values out there. How would you go about identifying perhaps your values to start off with?
Okay, before we go into identifying your values, I want to share with you a small story, Johnny, because
yes, please.
I come from Lebanon, and this is the most unstable country and the most beautiful country for me in the world. And the values for me were the anchor, because for every setback and every adversity, I would turn to my values for direction. And in the last devastating incident that happened, which was the third biggest explosion in the world in Lebanon in August 2020, we were totally scared. Totally. What happened? Half of the city was destroyed. All our dreams, personally, our building, everything was destroyed. And we were in a state of fear, like there's no tomorrow, what's gonna come next? We were deeply lost in the tragedy. And in those difficult moments, this is when I turn to my core values, and I'll talk about what core values are, which all the time I look at my core values because they help me bounce back from adversity. Because one of my values is resilience and grit. And this I found out after reflection, after rebuilding the business. And if I did not have this value of resilience and grit, I wouldn't have been talking to you today, because I would have been lost. Still, if the victim there, not knowing what to do, when I decided to move countries, start from zero, because we lost everything, even the finances, the bank stole our money. So it was literally starting from what people call rock bottom, and I call rock foundation.
Like it.
Yes, because of core values, because the core value is grit. It gives you the skin to start all over again. So this is how your core values play an action in your life, because it gives you direction. They're like a compass. And for people to be able to identify their core values is when you ask yourself, what is important for me? Whether be it in life, whether be it in my relationship, whether be it in my financial, in my family, everywhere. And the ones that you see repeated in all of the sections are your core values. For me, freedom, grit, fun are those the top 3 core values that I have. Whether I am at work, I need to have fun. I need to be free. I bounce back. With my relationship with my friends, my family, they're all existent there. So you see them in every single interaction. So this is how you call them core, because they do not change. But some of the values change for people. For example, a fresh graduate, Johnny, who just graduated from uni, if you ask them what is important for you in your career, they will tell you experience and finances. And this is the values. Based on them, they make the decisions which job to take, what are they expecting. But after 15 years of that, then it becomes what is important for you is impact. It's something different. So as you grow, your values grow with you. But there are those core values that stay the same regardless. Every interaction that you have, and they are the compass. And we grow, and our values grow. And when I work with clients and we are eliciting the values, we call it technically in coaching, we stay at least 1.5 hours to elicit the values of somebody, because you might, if somebody asks you what is important, you might answer anything, but there are some other questions that we ask to make sure that this is the value that I want. Because sometimes we think, I want this, but when you dig further and you self-reflect on the things you enjoy, on the things you excel in, you find, it's something else also that I value. So this is when you discover your values.
And so, yeah, that 1.5 hours to actually really go deep is not to be taken lightly. And
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there's lots of values out there, and actually, thinking about it is really useful. And Tony Robbins' Date of Destiny, I remember going into the values, the unconscious values.
Definitely.
Yeah, which were really interesting. But yeah, so you're saying like our values can change over time, like what's important to us, but actually our core values are the ones that don't. They're the stability. Yeah. And that really, and if you're ever stuck, like it sounded, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounded like in that, that very difficult situation you were in, obviously back in 2020, with the whole country in a very difficult situation. And trying to find direction, you went back to your values. So is that something you help people with in the coaching? It's when they're trying to make decisions, it's coming back to their values.
Definitely, because effectively our values are the compass that tells us if you have a decision to make, to go left and right, to make it simple, let's say left or right, then your values will dictate which direction you will take. It's like your compass who tells you, okay, if you value this, then you need to go left. And then the beliefs, because I mentioned values and beliefs, and then beliefs will support this decision or not. If you believe, yes, I can go left, then you will go left. And this is when your values and beliefs are aligned. And this is when you are in harmony and you can achieve stuff, because your beliefs and values are aligned. But if your beliefs and values are not aligned, what happens is you get stuck, because imagine one side of you is telling you go left and the other side is telling you go right. So you stay stuck wherever you are. And this is why most people get stuck, and when you ask them, they tell you, I don't know, because they haven't explored their values. And once they explore the values, this is the light bulb moment when they say, now I know why I'm stuck. And this is what I see in people's faces, is that I never thought this was it. And this is the importance of knowing the values. People get stuck and they tell you, and you coach as well, and they tell you, I don't know. You listen to this answer so many times. But once you explore the values, it's a light bulb moment for them.
And making sure the beliefs are aligned as well.
Definitely, because the beliefs are how we make sense of the world,
how we see it. And and kind of in our world, our mentor Joseph teaches us it's the beliefs about yourself, other people, and the general world as well. So that's what I learned. There's these different categories of beliefs as well.
Definitely.
And that can support you. So I want to touch on beliefs a little bit more since we're on that topic, like, because particularly around like maybe the not conscious or the unconscious sort of like beliefs sometimes that hold us back, because sometimes you could be, so for example, the classic, the money one, like I want more money, but maybe there's a belief in there that's you're not worthy of the money.
Exactly. I don't deserve it. It's too difficult. Why should I go there?
But it's not always conscious. Could you share like a little bit about like perhaps the value of coaching and helping people with their beliefs as well?
Definitely, because the first step is to discover your values and what is important for you. And then you want to see how your values, it's not about discovering and then sitting, it's how you live by your values. Because once you understand that your values are the basis of your decision-making process, and you have the light bulb moment of, okay, now I know my values, but I'm still stuck. Okay, it's the light bulb moment, half lit. And this is where, yes, we work on uncovering the beliefs of the people, where they need to write really what do they believe about life, what do they believe about money, whether be it positive or negative, because beliefs are two types. Either they give us wings to fly and they empower us, or they paralyze us totally because they put us in an unresourceful state. So once they put those beliefs on paper, and it's not about saying only negative words. For example, I'll give you, I am shy. People want think it's a very negative belief, but sometimes it serves people because they think before they speak. So it's not looking at the beliefs at face value. I am shy as if I can't speak in public, because sometimes our beliefs serve us. So we need to see what beliefs are serving us and empowering us and what beliefs are not. And there is no right or wrong answer. This is the beauty of coaching. There is no judgment. I'm not here to judge if what they believe in is correct or not. I'm here to support their journey so they can move forward. So if it's moving them forward, then it's empowering them. So it's not only the belief that, okay, the negative things, because something might be in a certain situation, save us. It depends. It might save us sometime. So some beliefs are not always, if it has a negative connotation, means it's negative. We need to understand in relation to the people how it is.
Yeah. So, for example, what comes into my head there, it's like, if I believe I jump into the sea right now of those great white sharks, I will die. That's a good belief to have right there.
Exactly.
But it's also, you could believe that if I get up on stage and talk in front of these, 50 people in the room, I will also, it's crazy. I remember reading a book. I will also be like near death, and that that may or may not may or may not serve you. So it's depending on where you want to go. If you want to, do public speaking, that's probably not an empowering one in the moment. But
exactly, because there is fear. I told you I was totally lost in 2020. I did not know where to go, what to do, what's next. Everything is lost. But because I believed that whatever happened, I can get out of it. And I've made it before, and now I can do it with a better experience. Instead of looking at it as this is the disaster. It was a disaster, but then I said, yes, it hurts, it's bad, and I can make it. I've done it before. I've done it. I've run a business. I've won awards. I've been speaking in stages in Lebanon and all over. People know me. I've built a reputation. Okay, now I have to move countries, and I can, whatever I did in the first country, I can replicate it, model it, and adapt it. But if I did not have the belief that I can do it, I wouldn't have done it. But fear was there. Yes, fear. We're human. Coaches do not have superpowers. People think, you're on La La Land and everything is shiny. No, we're not.
Oh, no.
We have our own issues and struggles. It's just we know because we have self-awareness. And when somebody has self-awareness, this is a superpower. because you know what works, what doesn't work, what you can do, what you can improve. It's like there's no blind spots anymore. Definitely we discover more and more, especially as we mature and all of this. But in the situation, you are self-aware. And this is the power of coaching. You become so self-aware that you can do stuff. You know your values, you know what you stand for, you know what you can do, what you've done it before. And it's a process. Once you learn, you can apply it in all areas of your life. It's not like I go and work on my career and then I need to go do another sessions for my whatever. If your coach is a qualified and competent coach and you learn the tools, then you can replicate it in any area of your life. And my clients do that. They tell me, Pauline, you remember we did this tool and I've done it on a totally different scenario and it works. I said, really? So it's about the tools as well in coaching. It's self-awareness backed up by the tool, and neuroencoding is one of the most powerful ones that I know. I'm in love with neuroencoding.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, a lot what you said. I'm really a big fan of what you said about like the self-awareness piece, and then coaching being a vehicle to do that. It can be sometimes one question that just gets you like, I had, last night, my coach, I had this, like, I was just like, I was just talking, we're all human. So I was talking through like a personal challenge of my personal life. And then I was talking to her and then she just asked me one question and it got me a little bit emotional, admittedly. And I was just like, oh, it was like a relief, but it's like, oh, that makes so much sense when she just asked the question. So it can just be so simple for that self-awareness.
Definitely, because she's not telling you what to do. You are in a thought-provoking process. And I bet, Johnny, you left there and you were still thinking about other things.
Yes.
Because coaching does not end in this 1 hour coaching session. It's what happens after the coaching session. It's the self-reflection, the processing of what happens in the coaching as well that takes you to a different level. Because when you get out of a coaching session, yes, you are emotional, but you go with a high vibration, high energy. You don't leave a coaching session like this. You get out of a coaching session empowered. So once you're empowered, then you can do stuff, your thinking shifts.
Absolutely. Yeah, excitement sometimes. Excitement's always a good emotion when I come out of one, like,
definitely
ideas, click. So Pauline, thanks so much for, sharing the value of coaching, of values. We talked about beliefs, really, really essentials I personally resonate with as well. That's vital, and that overarching sort of like self-awareness piece as well. Which I'm always looking to improve mine. We're always learning, never an end point about ourselves. I personally believe. Anyway, so yeah, where can the listener find you if they want to find out more about your work? And I know you've got 1 or 2 things you wanted to share.
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, Pauline P. Sawaya. I'm on Instagram, Pauline Sawaya as well, Pauline_Sawaya. It's my name. I use it everywhere so people can find me much easier, and we can put it as well, the link. And I want to share for your audience as well, the first 10 people who book on my Calendly, I will offer them a free complimentary. I don't like free. Okay, it's a complimentary values session. So we can do that for the first 10 who book the first. So on the link that I sent you, there is my Calendly link, and they can get from wherever they are in the world. My clients are all over the world as well. So I speak English, I speak Arabic, I speak French, not that fluent French, I speak Greek. So so this helps as well.
That's an amazing offer. Thank you so much, Pauline. We'll be sure to do that. And what I would say to anyone listening to this and they're maybe a little bit stuck, need a little bit more clarity. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always get. So take advantage of that Calendly link that I'm going to provide. and have a conversation with Pauline about your values for the complimentary session. So that's very generous. And thank you for being so generous with your time today. Appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you, Johnny, for inviting me to your podcast, and keep on really doing what you're doing, because you're helping a lot of people, and you provide value all the time. So thank you as well. I listen to your podcast all the time and I get lots of value. So thank you for sharing your thoughts as well.
Oh, thank you. So that concludes our episode for today. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.